Hello, today we're going to analyze and appraise the three different still life compositions. First of all, I would like to say what each one is. So, picture number one or composition number one is a monochromatic composition. So it's mainly used like it's a composition made by the same color, um, well, the same hue, and it uses different values of that hue to make it more interesting. So in this case, you can see that everything is yellow, but at the same time, there are more there are parts that are more saturated than the others or more dark. So this gives a sense of harmony and calmness, but at the same time, it still makes it interesting because it makes sense. So as of the second photo, these are warm colors, all of this. So you can see the red, the yellow, the orange, and they're supposed to give you this warm feel, but at the same time, they're supposed to be like make sense of each other. As of warm colors, they're all the ones that are standing next to each other, but at the opposite of the blue, the purple. Like they're the ones that make you feel more welcome. I think, yeah. So yes, they're supposed to give you this warm feel and this welcoming feel. So then, as of the third photo, those are complementary colors, which are the ones that are standing opposites, like opposite from each other in the color wheel. So those are supposed to be making a big contact with each other, which is as if different with the warm and the monochromatic compositions. These aren't supposed to make sense at first, but then at the same time, when you see that big of a contrast, then you think that it actually makes sense. So, as of the first picture, I believe that this composition is successful because it is actually all yellow, except of this part that is actually white, and of course, like the um like the top of the paint and the markers, but at the same time, they all look pretty similar, and this is a monochromatic composition. So I think that the most successful thing about this is that it created harmony and unity throughout the patterns and the use of like the same shapes and the same groundings for the whole composition. So you can see that this is rounded, like the segment is rounded, the tape too, the markers, the paint, like the container and the plate. But at the same time, this that are in front, you can see that there's a big contrast with the background that is actually more straight lines. So this makes it much more interesting for the eye to analyze the different things, the different situations that are happening in this picture. So you can see that I don't know, the crayons and the stickman are making a similar shape, but then at the same time, you can see that there's this asymmetrical feel that the stickman says it's much more thin. If it would be back like with a paint, then it would feel on balance, but at the same time, because it is on front. And then on the right side, you can see like a much more dense objects, then it balances itself. So yes, I think that this is a successful composition. I would crop this white part to make it much more successful, but I do believe that it is like does produce calm. Then for the second one, I think that the white broke it off. I think that for warm colors, you need to feel warm, but at the same time, this white is breaking everything up, and you can't see that these are warm colors and they're supposed to be standing next to each other in the color wheel because at the same time they could be analogous. So I think that this breaks it up because this makes it like a triangular form because your eye is directly moving to this white furry ball. So this makes the rest less important, which I believe that those elements should be the most important and the white furry ball should be the less. So I think that this could improve by taking away that furry ball and at the same time making more emphasis with the rest of the colors to make it more conscious with them because I think that their they lose their position in the paint, like in the composition because of the white furry parts of the hat. As of the third one, I think that there's a lot of harmony and patterns. Like there's a variety of forms and shapes, because here you can see that there like is a little bit more rounded, and here too. Then this is extremely sharp, but at the same time, you can see a little bit of a pattern in this flower and this flowers too. So it's the same thing, but in different fonts. Then you can see that also your eyes moving in a triangular face, the triangular shape, because the paint is directing your eye here in the flower too. So this makes it much more interesting, because you can focus on many different things, different types of textures, different types of shapes, but at the same time, like the transparency of this, the different, like this contrast between the purple and the yellow. So this makes it a lot more interesting. So I think that as of this compositions, the most successful was the first composition, then the third one, and lastly the second one. I think that mainly you need to focus on what you want to transmit. And this, it was monologous, and this one it was the big conscious. But then in this one, we lost focus on what the white furry ball would do to the rest of our composition. So yes, thank you.